See, a lot of my brothers and my sisters have shown up here in D.C. today to stand up for our rights. We're a diverse group of patriots here who care deeply about our republic and about the rights guaranteed to us by the Constitution. One of the most fundamental rights is that of self-preservation. As Americans, our right to self-preservation is expressed through our Second Amendment.
The government is trying to label us as terrorists. They're trying to silence us. They're trying to shut down debate, shut down discussion because they don't like guns, they don't like our freedom. And it is incredibly important and impactful that we are here today to tell the government that we are 2A. I want you to join me. We are 2A. We are 2A.
But my fellow Americans, everything always comes down to personal responsibility, right? And that is you. Our founding fathers and mothers certainly embodied these principles of creating and allowing. They fought, bled, starved, and died as they created this nation, which allowed their children and ours to thrive, wrapped in the precious and unique American constitutional protections.
Who are the governed? Folks, it is up to us to use those civil rights to fight and make sure that we stand up for the rights, not just for ourselves, but for the next generation and the generation after that. We will be judged in history by what we do this day.
Found a treasure. I was thrilled to emigrate to a country that provided awesome opportunities for my success. But the idea to own and bear arms to protect myself, to continue practicing my sport, to even fight against a tyrannical government or dictatorship for that matter.
The force behind this rally was coalition. Coalition under some simple ideas. Maybe you agree with this idea. I very rarely write things down, but I wrote some of this down. No more restrictions. Very simple. Say it with me. No more restrictions. No more restrictions. Not one more restriction on types of firearms, variants of firearms, individual firearms.
What brings us together is our right to love life, liberty, and freedom. That's what makes America different. Can I get an amen, somebody? I'm not like one of those who preaches and has a security guard team following me around. I'm not one of those guys who preaches disarmament but has a concealed carry permit. I'm not one of those who preaches one thing and does another. There's another word for that. You and I know, yes, you and I know that guns do not equal murder.
To Washington, D.C. to meet our legislators as gun owners and Second Amendment supporters. It's a nonpartisan educational effort. The Second Amendment is a constitutional issue. It is not a partisan issue.
There are Republicans that are just as bad as Beto as well. There are Democrats that agree with me, a conservative, on the Second Amendment. And I love it when I see that, because the right to keep and bear arms is not a right of middle-aged white guys with potbellies and beards.
Not only are we here at the Second Amendment rally, and this is an amazing turnout, by the way, amazing. But it's also the month for Veterans Day, and it's the Marine Corps birthday. Do we have any active duty or former military in the crowd? I just want to thank you for your service, but I also want to thank all of you for your service, because being here today and standing up for our rights is service to country.
And although they live in a world that shames and vilifies them for what they are, they stand firm and they stand strong in their commission, in defense of themselves, in defense of those that they love, in defense of what is good and innocent, even in defense of those that might oppose them. Am I right?
The shirt that I have on says my ancestors paid the price. I'm just a receipt, all right? Nobody's asking for exchange. Nobody's asking for refund. Freedom, guys, comes in all flavors. It comes in all appearances. It comes in all
It's been
genders.
mentioned before, but it has to be said again. It doesn't matter who I am and what I do if you're not doing anything yourself. It doesn't matter what my homie Maj is doing if you're not doing anything yourself. It doesn't matter what Pastor Ken, Pastor, if you're not doing it yourself. It can't just end here. It can't just end today. You have to start it right now in your own little community, in your own.
Us in New Jersey, just holding the line is considered a win. The gun-grabbing mentality starts in states like New Jersey and California and then spreads to your free states, the states you told me to move to. We need your support. We don't need you to make fun of us and tell us to move. Now, we've been fighting hard in New Jersey, and I believe that New Jersey will soon bend the knee, and we are going to have concealed carry.
It's our birthright. It's the thing that has kept this country as free as it is today. But that does not mean that it can't be changed or warped and interpreted in ways the Founding Fathers didn't intend. And we've seen plenty of that, especially with regards to the Second Amendment. Now, I believe the right to self-defense, thus the right to keep and bear arms, is a natural right. It's a right that didn't need to be granted by any man, and it's a right that can't be taken away by any man. It simply is. The Second Amendment is supposed to be a guarantee that the government would not interfere with that natural right. However, that's exactly what's happening.
Today I stand before you as an unarmed man. Yes, Capitol Police, today I showed up without a gun, in case I'm in a crosshair somewhere, but there's a beautiful sign over there somewhere. There it is. We came unarmed this time. Look, folks, these representatives are supposed to represent us. They also took an oath of office, and that oath of office requires them to uphold and defend the Constitution. And any time that they stand before you and say, well, I can make you safer by passing another law, they're lying to you. It's a power grab, and it has to stop.
This is your day to yell to the world that in a free country, we have a Fourth and a Fifth Amendment and a First Amendment, and if those don't work, we gun owners have a Second Amendment right to protect them.
Right now today, to exercise our voice, our choice, our ability to say we have a framework called the Constitution. We have human rights codified in the Bill of Rights under natural law that is not given to us by government. That is codified languaging that all ethnicities, backgrounds, people from all across this great nation have the ability to exercise regardless of what the anti-freedom agenda will tell you.
Whether we like it or not, we're in a battle for the hearts and minds. Our neighbors, our co-workers, just a lot of the people we know. These people can actually determine whether we have even crazier, more oppressive gun laws. And as tough as it is sometimes, we've got to be the adults in the room, the calm, cool, collected ones who have the facts on our sides, as contrasted with the wild-eyed and the accusations we hear and the crazy claims we get from the emotional gun haters.
You are the gun lobby. When the founders put this republic together, they looked at it and they said, what do we do? And one of the really magnificent things about our founding is that they didn't just write the rules for the way they were living and what they had at the time. They set their sights higher. They set their ideals on paper, and they put it down on paper, and we have been trying to live up to that standard ever since. They gave us a challenge. And part of that challenge was we, the people.
Lose it. The next day, you will be like Hong Kong. We are trying to make our voices heard, but the government feels no need to heed the voice of the people because they own all the force and the people are disarmed. Scary stuff, folks. Really scary stuff. So that means use it or lose it, right? The moment we allow every little infringement of a law, that incrementalism that I like to talk about, the sooner we're going to lose all our gun rights and our power. And the rest is going to be resting with the government. And hey, they're not listening. They're not listening to us now. We've got to get louder, and we need to make them listen to
keep
us.
our homes, our schools, our families, our loved ones safe. But I'm also here for another reason. I'm here because I've seen how all of you, decent, responsible, law-abiding gun owners, are relentlessly and I believe unfairly demonized. I'm here because I've seen firsthand how an ideological hatred of guns and the people who own them is more important to some people than the actual goal of saving lives.
We all know gun control laws are dangerous, and I'm not going to waste my time telling everyone what they already know. What's more important is that you understand that you all are really needed for more than just showing up to a rally to support the right to bear arms guaranteed to each and every American citizen by the United States Constitution.
The rights enshrined in the Constitution will only continue to belong to us if we as individuals are willing to put in the hard work of preserving them. We must do more than speak strong words. We have to be active advocates among our countrymen, every single one of us here.
I've heard a lot of people up here talk about the Second Amendment, and it's one of the biggest mistakes of my life, but I am a lawyer. We spend a lot of time fighting over language, over words and documents. And there's one word that I fight about a lot, and I'm really confused, and I'm wondering if you guys can help me. The Second Amendment, it says something about the right of the people. Who is that? Oh! Can you tell them?
It is time right now for Washington to hear our voice. I also want to make sure that every single one of you standing here with us today understands that this right will not be maintained without a fight. The fight for gun rights is difficult. It seems that every time we turn around, some new half-baked legislation is brought forth to further strip you of your rights. And we cannot and will not stand for it.
When we have to gather here to demand that our politicians honor our inalienable right to keep and bear arms. Our rights have never in the history of the United States been under attack like they are today. And it isn't just the Second Amendment. It's all of our inalienable constitutional rights that are under attack.
Since the Parkland shooting last year, the number of school districts arming teachers has doubled in just 1 year. That is fantastic. Or how about this? Since last year, 231 counties in 15 states have told their governors and federal officials that they are not allowed to enforce gun control in their counties. Their message is keep your hands off of our gun rights.
As well as educating the firearms community about the misconceptions of seeking help from mental health professionals. By simply dispelling rumors and spreading accurate information, we can reach those in need via the communities they trust. Our community is a place of trust.
Thank you all for proving everyone who said this wasn't possible, wouldn't happen, and most certainly wouldn't end on schedule, proving them all wrong. The speakers, if all the speakers could come up here behind me, they all committed to an idea that you all fulfilled. Share their messages, share your own messages as grassroots